My name is Linda Trevino, and I am one of your adult services librarians at the library. We still have services that we can provide you through the magic of technology. We have eResources and databases, various databases to provide you with. For example, we have Canopy, which you can stream movies with. Our book club is called Entwined Minds, and this coming fall we are celebrating our 10th anniversary of book club, which is amazing. These two books, the first one is called The Last Bus to Wisdom by Ivan Doig, and the second one is called Whistling Past the Graveyard by Susan Crandall. Now, I put these books together to present to you today because they're very similar in their stories. The Last Bus to Wisdom concerns a young man named Donald. He's 11 years old and he is an orphan. He lives with his grandmother, a very loving, caring, nurturing grandmother that he adores. She has to have a serious surgery, and because she's elderly, and she has to have the serious surgery, she's about to be unable to care for Donald. And so she decides apprehensively that she's going to have to send him to her sisters. And so she makes that decision, and Donald is not happy with it. He loves his grandma. He wants to stay with his grandma, but it's really out of everyone's hands. And so she sends him. They live in Montana, and she sends him to Wisconsin, where the great aunt is. Well, they don't hit it off very well, and after some time, the great aunt tires of Donald, and she basically washes her hands of him, and she decides that she's going to send him back to Montana, where the grandmother is. And if the grandmother, and knowing the grandmother is not going to be able to care for him, she figures, well, then the authorities will. And so she puts him on a bus and sends him back to Montana. Well, this is where the true adventure begins. And on his way back to Montana, he meets interesting characters, and he starts to learn various things about life. And there's seriousness to the book, but there are also some funny situations and parts of the book that'll make you laugh. And like I said, it was one of the favorites. Now, Whistling Past the Graveyard was the other, and that concerns a young 9-year-old girl named Starla. Now, Starla also lives with her grandmother, but her grandmother's a lot different than the grandmother that we find in the Last Bus to Wisdom. She is very strict and almost abusive in a lot of ways. Starla is not an orphan. She's not an orphan. Her father is around, but he works so much, and so he does a lot of traveling. The book takes place in 1963. Now, The Last Bus to Wisdom takes place in 1951, and I'm sorry if I didn't mention that. Those are important. And so her father works a lot, and so he's not really able to be around for her as much as he would like. She adores her father. He adores her, but it's another out of his hands. He can't be there as much as she'd like. What also has stayed with Starla is that when she was 3 years old, her mother left her to go to Nashville to become a famous country singer. And so she feels like her mother is that famous country singer in Nashville. And so there's so much that Starla can take, she finally decides that she's going to go to Nashville and find her mother. Now, there are certain things I'm not telling you, like I don't want to, spoil it for you. So I'm trying to cut myself, off when I'm about to say something. So you may see those pauses that I'm, keeping myself from saying, because I don't want to spoil the story for you. But anyway, yet again, we have a young person going on a journey, and within this journey, yet again, interesting characters, humor. There's some seriousness involved, but still, there's a light quality about both these books. Are available in ebook format on Overdrive, and I believe that the e-audio is available through RB Digital. So if you want to listen to it, you can just download those apps. And I said before, if you have any issues accessing resources, or you need some help from us, please don't hesitate to email us or give us a call. We're there to help. We are still there for you.